Makki di roti and sarson da saag. This is sure to bring a very distinct flavor in the mouth of all the Toastmasters present here. I think the same is true with puri aloo, aloo parantha, kadhi chawal, dal makhani, etc. So, dear Toastmasters, and there's no case. So, dear Toastmasters and dear Toastmaster of the day, the topic that I'm going to talk about, which is my Project 4 speech, is a Punjabi's love for good food. As we all know, entry to a man's heart is through his heart and through his stomach. So, entry to a man's heart is through his stomach, and it cannot be more true than this for a Punjabi. A Punjabi who would like to eat his food, and not only eat his food, but even discuss his food. And a Punjabi can go on and on discussing his aloo parathas, and he can homemade butter, and there are a lot of stories about yogurt and so on. You know, the combinations. It is just great for a Punjabi to just have an opportunity to talk about food. And here I am talking about food in front of you. Whether the egg came first or whether the chick came first, I think is an ongoing debate. But to a Punjabi, it doesn't matter much, and both are welcome if they are served with a cold glass of chai here. So, and when Punjabis are talking about their food, they would like to double their pleasure by using the very specific vocabulary. So therefore, you have things like daru sharu, party shati, fun shan, mutton shatan, and so on. So this is a Punjabi's formula of doubling his fun and pleasure by just talking about the food. It is said that a Punjabi household, a kitchen never shuts down. And the kitchen operates on a very unique formula. And the formula is more ghee is equal to more taste. So, they say that to a Punjabi, if he does not take 3 helpings at least, then people will feel that he is on a diet. So, it is very, very common in Punjab, even now, that along with the bed tea, you are served with aloo tikki or bread pakoda or samosa, probably. Something, you know, these come as accompaniments along with the bed tea. I remember once upon a time, I heard a joke, and it was a very small one. He said that a Punjabi was asked to translate the sentence, which is eat breakfast like a king, eat lunch like a prince, and eat dinner like a pauper. So he thought about how to translate it, but then he put himself in the picture and he thought whether is it appropriate or not appropriate. And therefore, he cut out the breakfast, the lunch and the dinner, and then he cut out the prince and the pauper, and finally there was a one-line translation, eat like a king. So that's it. Punjabi dhabas, they have come across the length and breadth of the country and across the world. In Punjabi dhabas, one very typical feature is you will find manjis or beds, on which typically people would eat, and these manjis, after a very, very sumptuous meal and topping it up with a lassi, then obviously the sleep will be induced in the person, and then he would like to actually make his afternoon siesta, and that afternoon siesta comes through that manji, which is then doubles up as a bed for him. The McDonald's and the Pizza Huts of the world, they did not leave behind, and therefore to cater to the Punjabiization of the Indian taste palette, they introduced things like Mc Aloo Tikki Burger. They also introduced, Pizza Hut introduced something which is called Paneer Tikka Topping Pizza, and so on. So this is all thanks to the Punjabi food which we are all so used to. In his book, Two States, Chetan Bhagat, he talks about a hardcore Punjabi locality situated in Delhi, and he says each and every street is smelling of paneer being cooked in paste of tomato and onions and garlic, which is also known as a tadka for those people who don't know here. He also mentions that a Punjabi, to soothe a Punjabi, to bring his tempers down, the most favorite product is a dairy product. And I think when he's talking about dairy product, I think he's talking about the lassi, the very famous sweet lassi. This lassi thing brings a old memory and episode which I had once upon a time in Amritsar along with my son when I had gone there for a trip. We all know Amritsar as very famous for the Golden Temple, but we don't know that Amritsar is also famous for Amritsari kulcha, and all the old streets in Amritsar are named after food. So you have Paratha Wali Gali, you have Papad Bazaar, you have Chawl Mandi, you have Loon Mandi. Chawl and loon are rice and salt respectively. So therefore you have names after the food. This is what Punjab is, this is what Amritsar is. So therefore, it was in Amritsar that once upon a time I went for this lassi, and when we ordered for lassi, this gentleman gave us 2 glasses and along with 2 spoons on the counter. I had asked my son to wait outside in the auto rickshaw since the luggage was there. When I took this, I didn't know how to manage 4 things. The obvious thing what I did was I put the spoons inside the glasses, and the moment I put them, the spoons drowned. You know why? Because these glasses were those tall 9-inch glasses which are heavy copper base. Punjabis still like to drink their lassi in those glasses. This brings us to another facet of the Punjabi lifestyle, the larger than life approach, the Patiala peg approach as we like to call it. Punjabis who love their food, and the very talk about it, the very thought about it brings a smile on their face. Over to you, dear.